Good afternoon, everyone. In my opinion, the most of the time, what we call fearlessness is really just a moment when courage outweighs your fear. Fear is a natural instinct for humans and other animals. This is an emotion shaped over billions of years of evolution, and you can think of it as a built-in protection mechanism that helps animals away from danger as much as possible. This emotion has protected countless species, including our human ancestors. So it's a pretty useful emotion. Even now, it continues protecting us. So why does fearlessness exist? In my view, there are different types of fearlessness. Each has its own triggers. Let me share a few kinds I've been thinking about. First, there's biological fearlessness. This is a special case. Fear involves a complex system, including sensory organs, cerebral cortex, and deeper brain structures, like the amygdala, hypothalamus, and hippocampus. The amygdala is widely considered the core hub for processing fear. It recognizes threats, stores fear memories, and triggers fight or flight response. If this system is destroyed by illness or injury, it may become difficult for someone to feel fear. A classic example is this disease, an extremely rare genetic disorder that causes the amygdala in both brain hemispheres to gradually calcify and lose function. Patients may show no fear to venomous snakes, spiders, or even someone threatening them with a knife, since that would terrify most people. I believe those can also terrify you, right? So this is a fearlessness that caused by physical inability to feel fear. Second, there is fearlessness that comes from deep knowledge. When you understand more about how the world works, your courage can outweigh your fear in many situations. For example, imagine you are bitten by a snake in the wild. If you don't know anything about snakes, you'll probably be terrified. But if you know how to tell from the bite whether it was venomous, and you know the right first aid steps to take, you will naturally feel braver. Let me share my own example. One night, I wanted to explore an abandoned building behind my house. It's a real picture. And the ruin looked super creepy from a distance. But in the end, I went inside. Was I scared at that moment? Definitely. So why did I go in? Because I knew there was no real danger. I was there during the day, so I knew there were no dangerous animals. I also didn't believe in ghosts or spirits, and even if I did, they'd probably just be people in costumes. Plus, there was no way anyone else would be there in the middle of the night. So, no risk of an ambush. So, as long as I didn't trip and fall, I'd be fine. So knowledge can give us the courage to push back against instinctive fear. Third, There's fearlessness that is forced out in extreme circumstances. Some people might not usually be brave, maybe even a little timid. But in certain high-pressure situations, their courage can overcome their fear. Think of soldiers on a battlefield. They face the threat of death every moment. If they retreat without authorization, they might face court-martial, execution, or imprisonment. If they fight hard, they might survive, and maybe even be treated well, so manages to fight, using their instinct to survive in a desperate situation to summon the bravery needed to suppress their fear. These special situations often involve things people deeply value: their lives, careers, families, comforts, or beliefs. Many people, when their own lives or the lives of their comrades or loved ones are threatened, choose to push down their fear and fight back. Others, devoted to a cause or belief, choose to suppress their fear of danger, pain, or death, and making great sacrifices to advance or protect that cause. The soldiers and civilians who fought against fascism, and heroes and martyrs of revolutionary times are powerful examples of these. So we should deeply respect them. Fourth, there's fearlessness that comes from trust. Trusting in yourself or in someone or something else can give you a huge surge of courage, strong enough to overcome your fear of danger. Think of Bear Grylls or Ed Stafford. They deeply trust their own skills, knowledge, and willpower. And it's exactly that trust allows them to survive and explore remote natural environments around the world. From freezing Siberia to uninhabited Pacific Islands. And I'm an amateur rock climber myself, and I love climbing the walls in shopping malls. But where do you think my courage comes from? It comes from my trust in safety rocks. And that has helped me overcome my fear of heights. So yes, trust can also create fearlessness. So these are the fearlessness that I've been thinking about. But just a quick side note, sometimes being fearless isn't a good thing. After all, things can be unpredictable, and accidents happen. But when you should be fearless, you've got to be fearless. Maybe you can say, go to hell, to increase your courage. I think, for many of us, the easiest type of fearlessness to achieve is a kind that comes from knowledge. And this kind of fearlessness applies to more and more situations as your knowledge extends. If we compare to a bulletproof vest, then the knowledge is a material you use to upgrade it. And those challenging situations are the bullets it stops. The more knowledge you have, the stronger the vest, and the more bullets it can stop. So, my friends, try to learn more about how the world works. Whenever or wherever, it will definitely benefit you.